finally announces the iPhone 4S. We also get a release date for iOS 5. And if the iPhone event just ended, why are we all disappointed? All this and more coming up right now. Hello everyone, I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow.com and welcome to the special edition of the Pocketnow iReview, where we're going to talk about all the things that were cool and what was not so cool about Apple's October 4th event and the iPhone that just got released. Let's start this off with the cool. Finally, after 4 months of continuous rumors, Apple releases a new iPhone to the public. Sadly, there's stuff to cover here that are cool and things that are not so cool, so we'll leave those for later. We have an iPhone 4S, so don't get your hopes up because it's not really an iPhone 4. Apple has kept the iPhone 4 design, though they boosted the specs dramatically. First of all, you get Apple's A5 dual-core chip that's obviously twice as fast as the current A4 chip and 7 times better graphics performance, so that's interesting because the iPad 2 will bring you 9 times better performance. I wonder what went wrong there. It includes a new 8-megapixel camera which improves optics and a lot of different things, though. It'll allow you 1080p of video recording, and apparently it'll even use the gyro for image stabilization whenever you're shooting video. Really interesting. It also brings a one device for every carrier design, so the phone will actually work on Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T at the same time, though Sprint is coming soon. Sadly, T-Mobile is not the carrier that'll bring the iPhone 4S for some reason. Most likely with the merger with AT&T, things will get solved there. And well, as it stands, the new lineup of iPhone 4Ss will bring you a white and black design, and it'll be available for pre-order on October 7th and then on October 14th in stores, though we're not really sure if people are actually going to go crazy over a phone that looks exactly like the previous year's model. And while you can get it in 16 gigabytes for $200, you can actually also get it in 32 gigabytes for $300, and then it'll cost you a staggering $400 after a 2-year contract for a 64 gigabyte model. Sad news on that pricing. And well, you can also get the old iPhone 4 for 8 gigabytes, and you can also get it in white and black for $100 on both Verizon and AT&T. And hey, if you still want to get the cheap iPhone 3GS, it'll be available for free, though only in black and also in 8 gigabytes on AT&T. And yep, you can also bet that'll cost you 2 years of a kidney contract. And that's pretty much the new lineup of iPhones. I mean, we were expecting something a little better, but we'll leave that a little bit for later. Just hit us up on comments to see if you'll be in line on October 14th for your apparent iPhone 4S. We also got an official date for the release of iOS 5. The first Goldmaster candidate was released to developers after the event on October 4th, and we can expect the official iOS 5 to be seeding to your devices and to everybody as of October 12th, and it'll also include iCloud. Now, if you're interested in some iTunes Match love, you'll sadly have to wait until the end of October for the United States, though we still have no dates for when it will be released to other countries, so we'll be waiting upon that, and we'll keep you posted whenever we get news for other countries. Now, even though there wasn't one more thing after the event, the mix between a new and enhanced version of iOS 5 and the iPhone 4S is really what took the spotlight. Apple seems to finally be cashing in on their purchase of Siri and Nuance's Dragon dictation technology, and they've integrated into iOS 5, though exclusively for the iPhone 4S. Note that this feature will not be available to legacy devices that will be rocking iOS 5, meaning the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 3GS. Siri is being sold as more than just voice control, and they're actually keeping the name. The service uses artificial intelligence to not only hear what you're saying, but also knowing what you mean. The ads show people asking their iPhones to send text messages to people, or responding to emails, or actually even scheduling appointments while they're on the go, or even tasks. Call this more than just voice control on steroids. I do see that the only key feature for selling the iPhone 4S is actually Siri, because aside from that, the internals are not really compelling enough to sell the iPhone 4S in comparison to the iPhone 4. It'll initially be launched in beta, meaning it'll only work in English, French, and German, but we're hoping that it'll be rolling out to other languages in the future, though we sadly don't have any specific dates for that. And before we get to the not so cool section, Apple also released 2 new applications that will probably be built in or bundled with your next generation iOS release. One was Cards, which we actually liked. It's like Hallmark on steroids because it has the idea of allowing you to create special cards within your iPhone, and all you have to do is actually submit the card to Apple, and they'll print it out and actually send it to wherever you want for price, either in the United States or internationally. It was actually a really cool service because all you have to do is take pictures are actually build everything within your iPhone and then just ship it out. It's actually seamless and interesting, and you can actually also just pay with your iTunes account. Really interesting. Another service they've released is Find My Friends, where you can actually choose to share your location with friends and actually also family. Though, not really sure if you're going to be liking people stalking you or anything, but you can actually choose who's going to be getting your information. You can also choose at what times they're going to be getting your information or not. Kind of interesting, though. Again, this is actually going to be free, so a real no-brainer if you want to give it a try and then think about if you want to keep it or not. Alright, so that does it for the cool. Let's continue on with the not so cool. This one's really a no-brainer. First of all, there's no iPhone 5. Everybody was expecting a thinner design, a different device, a larger screen, 4G capabilities. Everybody was expecting everything from this next generation iPhone, and what we got was an iPhone 4 on steroids. Kind of really disappointing because, first of all, we didn't get the iPhone 5, no new design. People are crazy about the fact that the 3.5-inch display is actually dated. Make sure you read Brandon Miniman's recent editorial about how everybody's disappointed with this release of the iPhone 4S, and well, aside from that, Apple didn't even release an unlocked version of this iPhone 4S. So first of all, you'll be stuck with either AT&T, Sprint, or Verizon for starters, and then most probably Apple will make us wait probably a year before we get an unlocked device, if ever. Not really sure what to make of it, but sadly we are disappointed because, well, I can actually be flashing this iPhone 4 and say, hey, I have an iPhone 4S. People won't really be able to tell the difference. Number 2 in our complaints for the iPhone 4S is the fact that it doesn't bring either 4G or HSPA Plus in this decade. I mean, competition right now is already at HSPA Plus. Some devices are at LTE. Obviously, they're not perfect. Some things could be improved in battery life, but sadly, Apple was actually boasting within the event that currently even those HSPA Plus devices are not offering their full potential, that they're only offering 14 megabits per second in download speeds, and apparently there's this new technology and antenna design, hopefully not antenna gate, that will provide those same HSPA Plus technology download speeds of 14 megabits per second on the current generation iPhone 4S. Sadly, these also competing devices are already capable of HSPA Plus. Even if the networks eventually bring the speed, those devices are going to be capable, and the iPhone 4S is not going to be capable. So, sad news on speeds. And 4G LTE, not sure what to make of that yet. That does it for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jaime Rivera. Remember to leave your comments down below of what you thought of the event. And also, don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.